Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will going to look at how to create this amazing sun shader in Unity using shader graph. For this, I'm using Unity version 2022.3, but it will work on any Unity LTS version. I have a project in URP, then I have the post-processing volume with the modules bloom and tone mapping with the mode aces. Now with that out of the way, let me roll the intro. We will create our effect in the following manner. First, we will take a 3D sphere. After that, we will add some simple noise to it. Then we will add some color to make it look like hot burning lava. Then we will distort it with some UV displacement. Lastly, we will pan our noise to make it look like it is flowing. Okay, so let's create a sphere. I will also adjust its scale a bit. Then let's create a shader graph. Right click, create, shader graph, URP, lit shader graph. Let's call it sun shader graph. Then we will create a material for that, so keep our shader selected, and right click, create, and material. Let's call it sun, and assign it to our sphere. In our shader graph, let's set our base color to black, set metallic and smoothness values to 0, just to avoid any possible specular highlights or reflections. Let's create a simple noise node. We will control the scale from the inspector, so let's create a float property, call it noise scale. Give default value of 100, drag it in, and assign it to the scale. We will take its output and feed it into the power node. Power node performs the mathematical power operation, but in our case, it will darken the values which are less than 1 as we increase the power. We will control the power from the inspector, so let's create another float property, call it noise power. Give some default value of like 5, drag it in, and feed it into the power node. Let's also create a color property, call it base color, set the mode to HDR, give some default red high intensity color, drag it in, and we will multiply it with our power node's output. Then let's take our multiply node's output and feed it into the emission block. Now we want to distort our noise. For that, let's create a Twirl node. Twirl node will distort the UVs in this spiral-like manner. The center and offset inputs are pretty self-explanatory. The strength determines how strong our effect will be. We will control the strength from the inspector, so you guessed it. Let's create a float property, call it Twirl strength, give default value of 10, drag it in, and feed it into the strength. To further distort the UVs randomly, I will use this center. Let's create another simple noise node, and then I will feed it into the center. Then we will control the scale from the inspector, so let's create a float property, call it distortion scale, give default value of 10, drag it in, and feed it into the scale. Let's take 12 nodes output and feed it into this UV. Our effect will look something like this. Now let's just pan our noise over time. For that, let's create a time node. Then take our time and feed it into the multiply node. To control the speed of our panning, let's create a vector2 property, call it pan speed. Give default value of 0.1, 0.1. Drag it in and fade it into the multiply node. Finally, take our multiply node's output and fade it into twirl node's offset. That's it. Save our graph. It will look something like this at the end. Head back to the scene view, adjust our material, and we have our sun. Bonus tip: we can use our material to act as a lava by simply assigning it to the plane or quad. That's pretty much the video. If you find the video helpful, consider like, share and subscribe. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. That's it from me, and I will see you guys in the next one.